Hi, I want to go over DMA 30. This is going to be section 3. Again, remember to pause the video to work ahead and work problem before I provide the answer. So here's question 1. Under view an example, you can see for section 3 is going to be mostly all word applications. But if you understand section 1 and 2, then this section here should not take as long, but we just still going to read each of the problems to kind of figure out what we need to do. Section 3, all these problems need to be set up as a proportion. So again, we'll have a ratio equal to another ratio. So using these three numbers here, reading the problem, and then using these three numbers here, we're going to actually set up a proportion, and one of those slots is going to be empty because remember, for proportion, you need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, but one of them is going to be empty. So if we go down and drop down to what it should look like, this is the setup that should always be what you need to do. It does not matter, but since 22 minutes came first, that's what we're going to put as, or our top left hand corner is 22 minutes and label it minutes. So if you label this numerator up top minutes, over here, this also has to be labeled as minutes. And then pages, pages. If you can stay consistent like that, all these problems will be fairly easy as far as to working them out if you stay consistent with the units. So as you're working the problems on your paper, write the units beside so you won't slip up and make a mistake or come time quiz or test. So 22, 2, here's that word 2 again. That means the division. 12 pages. So 22 and 12 pages equal to, so for here, this represents, 42 represents pages. So we're not going to put it in minutes. We'll put it down here. So the only thing that's missing is the minutes because it asks for us how long does it take. So X will represent our minutes that we do not know. So for these cases here, again, back in section 2, what we talked about, multiply the 2 that you have diagonally and then divide by the number left over. That always produces what's missing up here. So again, write label 22 minutes, write minutes here, pages, pages, and then fill in the numbers as you go. So this answer here, once we finish, should be 77. Let's look at number 5, give you an example. This one here can be a little tricky because we do see 3 numbers, but these are actually not the 3 numbers that we're going to be using as our proportion with an X as our number that we're trying to find. If we look here, notice they use the 1. Where do you think 1 came from? Well, it says a bag of fertilizer covers 3,000 feet. So 1 bag. So the 2 things we're actually talking about in this problem is bags and square feet. So a bag covers 3,000. And then we're going to need to know how many bags. So that's going to be our N or X that we do not know for bags. But where do they think they got this number from? Well, square feet, if you do not know, anytime you multiply 2 of the same units together, that's where the square comes into play. So feet times feet gives us square feet. So we multiply 190 to 220, multiply those two together, and this is where we get 41,800. So these are actually the numbers we're going to be using. So once again, to solve, what are we supposed to do? Do the 2 numbers that we have, multiply together, and always divide by the last number left over. And when you're working these problems, be careful when it says in blue, because we need to pay attention what's in blue, round up to the nearest integer. So for this particular here, we have 13.9, and it wants us to round up to the nearest integer meaning whole number. So it'll be 14 bags. So in real life, this will kind of be something that we need to do if we go to Lowe's or Home Depot to go get some fertilizer, and all we need is 13.9 bags. Well, we can't just take a pair of scissors and just cut the bag that we need and go to the shelf and then pay for it. So you kind of got to write 14 bags of fertilizer. That's what you need for going to the store. You need a full 14 bags. So that's why they kind of say round up to the nearest integer, which is whole number. So the last one I'm going to go over is number 10. Once again, here are my numbers. I'm going to quickly do an example one. Go down to where they have the proportions kind of set up for us. So here we have an organism here. Organism, that's going to be what we start with. A daily supply of oxygen for a particular, so that's where the 1 comes into play, over 625 is equal to 13,125 square feet. So because we labeled these down here square feet, this is where this goes. It does not go on top because that's organisms. So we multiply straight diagonal, divide by the number left over, and we produce our N of 21. So this should help you. Those few problems that I worked here should help you with section 3.